Good morning, family. So doing a shuffle for you. I've already asked that I am to be a clear channel to deliver this message for whoever needs to hear it. And as you know, I only take jumpers. I like to wait for spirit because we are actually divinating here. So if I pull the cards, that's human choice, that's my intervention, and so we're actually waiting for spirit to pull the card or make it jump. There we go. And we've got our three. Okay, so the first card, now this came out the other day, 42, Otter Spirit. You are never alone. Look at that, that's so pretty. I don't know if you can see, there's actually two otters there together in the heart shape. I talked the other day about this being that your spirit team are always around you. We're just so busy and not generally, unless you're on the awakening path, on the awakening journey, we're generally not aware of signs and synchronicities from spirit, from our ancestors, from our passed on loved ones. And this is your message from spirit, to actually be aware. Your team, your spirit team, they consist of your higher self, your literal physical family that's crossed over, any ascended masters, any members of family that have crossed before that you didn't even know. It's not that you've even had to know them, the people that have passed over. Ascended masters, angels, archangels, they're all around you, wanting to guide you, to kind of like interfere, if you will, to guide you, help you to make the right choices. But they can't come into our lives unless we ask them. They can't just interfere. They can't just see that, oh, that's the wrong choice, and so we'll just divert it. We've got to invite them in. And this is a really nice thing. It's not, you're not asking for anything dark or anything, you know, of bad energy. But just ask for your spirit team to be around you, to guide you, for them to show you the synchronicities and the signs. And then you've got to be aware of the signs. You know, little odd things that you think, oh God, that's a bit weird, or you might catch something out the corner of your eye, or, you know, the synchronicities of stuff that happen, and that's all your team around you. Another big sign from that spirit is around you is seeing repeating numbers. I don't know if you've seen, if you've ever watched my readings before, I've got 1111 tattooed on me there. Repeating numbers. They can be anywhere. They don't, you know, just have to be on your phone or the kitchen clock, or, you know, I see them everywhere. 222, 333, you know, all the numbers I see. 1111 a lot. And so my oven has a clock on it, but it's never set to time, because it goes off sometimes, the electricity on the oven, so I never actually reset the clock. And even that sometimes shows me 1111 when it's actually not 1111. You know, the microwave, you can see it on billboards. I was behind a car the other day that was pulling, or the other week, that was pulling a trailer, and on the back of the trailer it said, it was like, it must have been like a print for the actual company that owned it, you know, like a registration number that they knew that vehicle belonged to them. It wasn't an actual registration, and that was 11111. And I just think it's amazing. But we've got to be aware, you know, we've got to be present enough in our daily lives to actually recognize that spirit are speaking. And so what I encourage my clients to do when you see these repeating numbers is literally search them up, research them, what they mean. You can just do a quick type into a search engine and put the number in and ask it for angel number or numerology, and just read about what's actually happened. It's only a short burst of information. It's not like you know, pages and pages, but it just gives you an idea, and it's always about what you're going through, or what you've been going through, or a decision that you need to make. Another set of numbers that we see often are what we call mirror numbers. So where the numbers mirror themselves. So like you'd have 1221, so 1221, or 1331, or 1441. So where the numbers are back to front, and they're also very prevalent as well. So just be aware, you know, feathers, crows are messengers from spirit, magpies, robins. Obviously, we all know about the robins. That's your ancestors. But obviously, at this time of the year, that, you know, we see them more, don't we? Because of the little red breasts, they stand out. So they are all around you, and whoever needs to hear this message, you are not alone. Just because you're physically in a room without another human being in there, that means nothing. You know, first of all, you've got yourself. How can you ever be alone or lonely when you've actually got yourself? You are your own best friend. You aren't going to annoy yourself. You aren't going to be able to argue with yourself. You know what you like, you know what you don't like, you know what makes you happy. You are never alone. And a lot of people really do feel, and it is learned behavior, generational learned behavior, I have to say, that, like, unless you're married or you've got like swarms of people around you, that you're actually alone. And that's just not the case. You know, you've got yourself always. Primarily, you are your own best friend. Lovely. So next card out was the Scarab Beetle Spirit. Magic works through you. We forget, as we're adulting and we're driving around and stuck in traffic, and we've got to get to appointments, and the kids need this and you need that and the car needs this, and, you know, we forget to stop and pause and just sit with ourselves for a few minutes. How do we feel? What do we need? Are we experiencing a happy moment? You know, the magic works through you by being present in your everyday life. We only have this now moment, and I know that we've all got to make, you know, plans, and, you know, what's for dinner, what we're doing next week, etc., etc. But the only relevant time really is this now moment, and now this now moment, and on and on and on. You know, we can't go backwards, and looking too far into the future just gives us huge anxiety, because we think that we are in control of situations that we aren't actually in control of. You know, the only thing that we can control are our own thoughts. So I'd like you all just to try to stop and pause, and it doesn't have to be, you know, a big drama about meditating for an hour, or it just needs to be a few minutes where you're not on your phone, where you're not answering emails, where, you know, even, do you know, when the kids were younger, I used to do it on the loo. I used to literally go into the bathroom and just sit and lock the door, and it would be like, Mummy's just in the bathroom, Mummy's in the bathroom. And it was just taking a moment for me to breathe, to check in with myself, and remember that, you know, everything is always working out for us. Everything is always as it should be. And that's magic, to have control over your reality like that, to understand that we can create our own reality by just checking in, feeling what we need in our solar plexus area, which is behind the belly button, a little bit higher up than the belly button, but your gut feeling area, you know. And we can create our magic in our reality. Little message there for somebody. And the last one, make your dreams real. So that ties lovely in, doesn't it, with the magic works through you. What do you want for your life? You know, often we take less than. We take less than we need, less than we want, and definitely less than we deserve. And we feel like if we cut a situation out of our lives, or we cut a person out of our lives because we're taking less from that person, if it's not a reciprocal relationship, and it doesn't have to be a sexual relationship, it can be with friends or with family. If we're not having that reciprocated, that energy, then, you know, We often can think that maybe we've made a mistake or we're missing out on something. Well, in actual fact, we are sticking up for ourselves there. We are laying down our boundaries and understanding what we need. And the only way that we're ever going to make our dreams real is if we are truthful and honest with ourselves. And look at the spider here. He's weaving his web of magic. Or she. You need to create in your life what you want. You know, you heard me talk about before in my readings, you've heard me talk about creating the reality, you know, by looking within and channeling what we need, again from the solar plexus, because that's where we're connected to our higher self. Our higher self knows everything. It knows the right and wrong, and that's when we get that intuition in the gut area, and we're weaving that web of what we want in our lives, what we want to see. Cut out the dead wood, cut out the things that aren't good for us, not just relationships, but, you know, eating properly, taking vitamins, having an early night if you need to sleep, instead of scrolling or doing something for somebody else. Listen to what you need. Once we put ourselves first, we are so powerful for manifesting our reality, because we're not taking any BS, we're not taking, definitely not anything less than we deserve, and we are creating our reality, making our dreams come true. And yes, sometimes we do believe that certain people are going to be on a path with us, and when they're not, it is really difficult to understand that, you know, you'd put your hopes in somebody or a situation or a job. But never forget that when we leave something or someone behind, it's always to create the energetic space for someone or something new to come in. So all the way through that, it's about checking in with yourself, isn't it? You're never alone. Sit with yourself and speak with your family, spirit family. The magic works through you. Sit with yourself and see what you need, and making your dreams real is about you identifying what is right and not right for you. Thank you to Spirit for channeling that message through me, and thank you to you for listening.